Oh,
welcome to the porch. Pull up a chair, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Now here's your host, Michelle Barras and Brian Swanson.
Hi, my name is Michelle.
This is gonna be a silent show where we just type everything and everybody can just read it.
Hi, my name is Michelle Barras.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
And you've reached Denim and Pearls. We're business casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the porch.
From the porch. So our topic today, Manic Monday. Have you ever had one of those days where everything is like just totally out there and we always blame it on Monday?
It's just another Manic Friday.
Yes. So that's
I wish it was Sunday.
so that's what we're working with today is just total manic type stuff. So first, we must hit our sponsors.
I'm still confused why it tells me we're not live yet. But anyways,
yeah, well,
beside the point. Our sponsors are A² Promos, so you can find them at A2 Promos for all your swag needs, be it pens, notebooks, bags, you name it, they'll print on it. Next is ink182.com, and they are all our screen printing and embroidery needs. Matter of fact, they made our shirt.
I put my finger on your face there.
And we have an embroidered shirt that says Denim and Pearls, and it's really sweet. And then, of course, we have Embellished Butterfly, who do the cuffs and my little fancy cups that I have, my glasses that I make.
Yay.
And then, if you're interested in being one of our sponsors, you want to go to Denim and Pearls Podcast at gmail.com.
You don't really want to go there. You just want to send us there.
Oh, yes.
Send us an email there.
Yeah, email us.
Yeah. Or you can find all of this information. You know that? You can actually find all of that information. I know there's a banner down here for it at denimandpearlslive.com. We actually have a website.
Yes,
and if you want to listen to all of our stuff too, and you don't want to hit YouTube and you don't want to hit Facebook or anything like that, you can just go to our webpage.
Which is pretty easy.
Yeah. Some people are smart like that.
It's not me. I always forget we have a website.
I have to hide that.
Well, you have to go to comments because someone said hi, I'm thinking.
It was Helene. I already looked.
Oh,
she said, hi, Michelle.
Oh, she didn't say hi to Michael. Brian.
Also, subscribe and like over at Denim and Pearls on YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble, and other favorite podcast things. And the coolest part is we just added it to iHeart. Yes, iHeartRadio. So if you want to follow us over on iHeartRadio, you can do that now too. So that's pretty much it.
It's just another Manic Monday.
Yes. And sometimes she did say hello, Mr. Brian. There, see?
Hi.
Anyhow. Manic Monday. I mean, we've been in this turmoil for the last couple of weeks. One is because of the fact that you're trying to get ready for your book launch on Saturday, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then there's the ultimate speaker competition next week.
And then
there's the 100 author event.
And then Michelle's going to pass out.
I was going to say, did I miss one?
Actually, you did. There's a tea party for all the authors, and there's a photo shoot on Monday at 1:00 at Garden of the Gods. If you're interested, show up at Garden of the Gods at 1:00. That's here in Colorado Springs. We're going to be in the center park. So when you go to that very first parking lot, we're going to be down in the center in that circle area to take more pictures because Ken will be in town.
Yay. So we have all of this stuff going on. Michelle has all this stuff going on. I'm just kind of tagging along, but I've got my own stuff going on too.
It's just another Manic October.
Yeah. So part of our subject here today was, how do you get through some of that stuff? Do you just keep pushing on? Do you just give up and like bury your head in the sand? How do you get from point A to point B and successfully accomplish everything that needs to be accomplished?
I have a quote for that. Hold on. Just keep talking.
Well, if you have the quote for it,
I have to find it.
Oh.
I lost it when I dropped my book.
So, yeah.
Oh, wait. I found it.
See? What?
Okay. For anyone who watches me, and Brian knows this well, I am very meticulous about things because I want it to be right and I want to keep going and I want it to be whatever. Well, The quote from Giorgio Armani: to create something exceptional, your mindset must be relentlessly focused on the smallest details. That is what my problem is right now.
Yeah, but that can cause issues when you're stuck on the smallest of details.
Yes. But the thing is what happened is I went out and I did a big cast. I cast it on the net to make sure everything was covered. All the big things were covered. And now that the events are coming up, now I'm focusing on little things like, Brian, how many tablecloths do you have? You know, what color should I put? I mean, I'm that anal about it right now. It's like, okay, what color would make that pop?
Anal retentive.
Yes. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm so focused on little things that I even went out and made sure I had pens for all of the authors to sign the books for the book launch. But not just any pens. They had to be gel pens, not just gel pens, but they had to be this type of gel pen because it works well in left-handed people, for left-handed people. Not all pens do. Did you know that?
What?
Yes.
You're out of your mind.
No, I am not. It's crazy.
There's no such thing as a left-handed pen.
It fits in their handies or the way they hold their pens. For some reason, that grippy thing here helps. So like this pen, no grip, their hands don't work. I know left-handed people. Trust me on this. Grippy pens.
It's like a left-handed hammer. It just doesn't exist.
It does. Go talk to someone left-handed. Go
How's
talk to
a
Aaron.
left-handed pen?
It's not a left-handed pen, but it's the grip that just helps them hold their pen better. But
well,
yes,
that's true for right-handed too.
And Helene, I'm having major chemo brain today. And apparently so is Brian.
Yeah, we usually are pretty well on track when it comes to one's on, one's off. Today we're both off. I mean, I can't even move a chair without knocking something over. This is crazy nuts.
And I called him and said, are you coming over for the podcast? And he went, is it that time already?
Is it that late?
And I'm like, yes, and I'm still baking in the kitchen. I've been baking since 7 o'clock this morning. So.
And if you're just coming into this, we're talking about Manic Monday. So we're just kind of all over the place today. So we don't know what topics we're really covering or anything else.
Yes, we do. It's just another Manic Monday. So how do you get through things when everything feels like a box of toothpicks? Have you ever opened a box of
chocolates?
No, box of toothpicks, because chocolates actually have little holes where they're supposed to be. And a box of toothpicks, when you open it, they go all over the place. Have you ever done that where you opened a box and they fell? Oh, that happens.
No, but I've opened baking soda in the wrong altitude and it exploded into the ceiling.
Okay, we'll see something like
Actually,
that.
I think that was my wife.
Your life just seems like everything is going everywhere at the same time and you don't know what to focus on first. That's the Manic Monday. And for those of us who have that entrepreneurial spirit, we basically get very ADD. We get distracted on what the first shiny object that we get to. How do you get focused on what you really need to get done? I have my methodology. Brian, what's yours?
Well, you never know, honestly.
Spot.
No, well, you did kind of put me on the spot there because it all depends on the situation and what's important. I always try and narrow it down to the importance. Sometimes I'll look at the fact that it takes longer to do something, so let's get that done and get it out of the way so I can do the little things. But other times I look at the little things and go, let's get those all out of the way so that multiple things are done.
Yeah. Now, see, how I do it is there's a lot of things I want to get done, right? And I've got a couple of events going on. I noticed that I was feeling manic, that I didn't know how to focus because I kept going. So what I did is I did the polar opposite of doing what I was supposed to do. I did something that calms me down. So first I tried meditation. My brain was just going all over the place. I could not get my brain to stop. The other thing that calms me down is baking and cooking. So I made stew and then I made zucchini bread. Now I know I'm completely focused to do whatever I need.
It must be in the weather because Cassie's my daughter's home making some kind of soup too.
Really?
Yes.
Well, and then the other thing is yesterday Brian saw me and I was manic before. And then he saw me, he's like, "Oh, you look all happy." I do. "I've been cleaning my house all day." And he went, "You're happy about cleaning your house?" I said, "Yes, because when I feel the world is disorderly, in order to organize my house, keep it clean, it makes me feel as, okay, I've got something under control. Now I can control the rest of these things." So if you're watching, you're listening, let us know what's your methodology when you've got something, your world feels like it's topsy-turvy. How do you approach it? I do sometimes what Brian does. And right now, since it's so chaotic, I've gone to the what calms my soul so I can calm down enough to do everything else.
Okay.
And then I'll do all the little things that go fast.
Well, when I do things, I try and get them all done at one time. So I
Yes,
try
I
to,
won't do that.
I take the structural part of me, which is the smallest part of me when you look at the 4 personalities. My structural part is probably the least effective unless I focus on it. So I'll take that, but then I'll mix in a technical and go, okay, which one's easiest? Which one can I get done? Which one maybe crosses over so that I can do 2 things at once, which is the way I like to do things. Okay. So, but I think this really comes down to, it's really good for a person who's good and structured and organized. But I think even a structured and organized person can get loops thrown at them. Somebody can throw something in there, a horseshoe in the middle of everything, and everything just goes hog wild. And then a structured person don't know what the heck to do.
Yeah.
Because there's like one guy, I explain his personality is he's so structured that you can give him a map and tell him every direction to go and he will get there with no problem because he likes to follow directions. He's a structural individual. However, if you forget to put a stop sign on that road map you give him, he gets to the stop sign and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's highly structured.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he doesn't know how to adapt and overcome into the situations. So when it comes to Manic, he goes off the charts. Mm-hmm. Okay. Me, I'm not quite that way. No. I mean, I get focused.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me when I'm focused and I'm trying to get something done. And especially when it comes to, like we were talking about Galaxy Fest, when it comes to doing those kind of events and stuff, it's like, don't want to try and friend me that day because I'm not, but I'm also not going to freak out and blow up on everybody unless they push me.
Well, if you ever meet me when I'm on, stay out of my way because I'm on. But my thing is, part of my on is understanding people. So I will acknowledge, but I may not be able to think whatever you said to me. So like when I'm at a conference and I'm heading to the stage and someone says, "Oh, Michelle, and I have a book and I can't wait for you to read it."
That's nice.
And I'm going on stage. I don't remember their face. All I remember is I've got a book.
There was somebody who's got a book, but I don't remember who it was, what it was about.
So when I am focused, you don't want to tell me anything with a detail because it doesn't happen, especially when I'm about to go speak or something like that. Now, I found another quote, and I'm not sure if it'll fit.
You're into this quote thing today.
I am. So, a mediocre idea that generates enthusiasm will go further than a great idea that inspires no one. And that's by Mary Kay Ash. The reason I shared that quote, okay?
I have a problem with that quote, though.
No, this is why it works for me. Mediocre idea that generates enthusiasm will go further than a great idea that inspires no one. In my case, Larry, enough.
Larry's trying to say hi.
He says there's a car outside making beeping noises. But the reason why this works for me is me baking causes me much enthusiasm. So I can get through that and make myself feel as if I've accomplished something. But I have a great idea. I'm supposed to be dividing up my books for all the authors for the book launch. And I don't.
You might want to dismiss yourself and shut the door. We could be at this for a while.
Start talking.
Okay. Well, since she's doing that, I'm going to go back to this thing. The one thing that really challenges me is a great idea that inspires no one. Well, I have to question the fact that if it inspires no one, was it a great idea? I mean, it's an open-ended question, to be honest with you, because a mediocre idea that generates enthusiasm, yes, it's great. It's fine. It's fantastic. But if the idea isn't inspiring enough, is it really a great idea? Because a lot of the stuff that I work with the fact of putting marketing together. So if I put something that seems like a great idea to me and nobody else follows that idea, then what good is the idea? So if I can't generate some kind of enthusiasm with that marketing, so she throws me off when she walks out the door. This is awesome. So all of these kind of ideas that you have to put together, sometimes they just don't work. Sometimes that I find too, is you'll have a great idea today that is mediocre or what have you, or nobody's inspired by it. But 5 years from now, or 3 years, or 2 years, or 2 weeks from now, that idea is probably the best idea. I can even go back into a time frame when computers and stuff, we were starting into computers, and we had TiVo, if anybody remembers TiVo. Okay, not as in Tim, but TiVo as in television. Television. So anyway, I sat in my basement one day and I went, it would really be cool if you could connect this thing to the internet and download a movie. And when you download that movie, it had a time frame on it that it would explode or self-destruct, like, what was the name of that show where the guy self-destructed everything?
This message will self-destruct in 3 minutes.
Yeah, you remember that? What was the name of that show?
Get Smart.
Get Smart, yeah. So the movie would, it would implode upon itself, and you couldn't watch the movie anymore after like 24 hours. Well, 5 years later, Netflix shows up. I had a great, brilliant idea that fell on deaf ears, and 5 years later, it was worth something. Just too bad I couldn't have implemented it 5 years prior.
It wasn't meant to be. It's okay.
Well, that's true, but I'm just talking about in your thing about great ideas. Idea. Is it really a great idea if nobody's inspired by it?
Yeah.
If it's only you that has it a great idea.
But see, here's the
only
thing.
Your idea.
My thing is a great idea and no one else is inspired. I don't care.
Mission Impossible. That was the other.
Oh, that's it. My thing is I'm inspired by my thought. And so to me, that's enough. And I grow like a snowball, like this book. Some people are like, really? You're going to put a whole bunch of speakers in one book? That's kind of silly. I think it's brilliant. And so I started going until other people started believing in me too. And now we're all doing Hold My Crown, Women of Grit share stories of resilience. It was an idea that only I thought was a great idea at the beginning. So just because a group of people don't do, wow, that's a great idea, don't give up on it. If you feel in your heart that it's a good one, keep going until you find the tribe that does believe in you.
Until you have that Manic Monday when you can figure out how to do it.
Exactly. Oh, and by the way, Larry was barking because he was telling me, Mom, the bread is done and it's burning in the oven. He saved
Seriously?
the bread. Yeah, he was telling me the oven was done. He was barking at the oven.
Wow. It's time for our mid-roll. We're late.
Thank you for joining us on the porch. We share the nuances and lessons we've garnered from throughout our combined 40 years of life experiences. Talk from the porch is always serious, but full of laughter. And we're glad you're here with us. Like, share with a friend, and please subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And remember, join the conversation every Friday at noon Mountain Time. We'll see you on the porch. Welcome back.
Well, wait a second.
What?
If he was telling you, all I can think of is if he was telling you about the bread burning, is he like old Yeller telling Bobby that that Bobby's in the well?
Bobby's in the well. Larry was barking at the oven. And honestly, I think he's sensitive to smells like that because when there was a fire, that was it. I turned on the self-cleaning oven and it started burning the stuff in the oven. He lost his mind. I mean, he was shivering and barking and squealing, and we didn't know what it was. It was the smell of the oven. So whenever he smells fire outside, he cries and loses his mind and starts barking all over the place. Today, it was the bread. The bread didn't burn, but he notices that there's something about fire.
Okay, so Manic Monday, since we're like on all kinds of topics today.
No, we're still on the same topic.
Well, still Manic Monday, but I got a thing with that.
What?
He notices the bread.
He notices the smell of something about to burn. Yeah.
Right. Well, what about that in our lives? When somebody else notices something that we don't notice. Mm-hmm. Somebody comes up either with a better idea because they see something that we don't see,
or tell you you're heading somewhere that might be very bad for you.
So do we take their information or their opinions and utilize them or not, or do we evaluate them first?
I evaluate.
Yeah.
Quickly. So like with Larry, I was ignoring him, right? I said, oh, he's just going to be barking at a car or something. And then you said, you better go because he's going to keep on going. And I went down and Larry ran up the stairs, looked at me like, hey, Mom, ran down to ran to the oven, ran back up to me and then barked again and ran back to the oven. I'm like, oh, maybe I should be listening to you. Mm-hmm. So when someone comes into your world and gives you an alert, like maybe that might be a coach or a friend or, a coworker, take in that information and then assess the situation and decide, is this something I need to take into consideration? Is there something I can just blow off? Or is this something that I can alter what I'm doing to make it better?
Well, I think the same thing goes. We've talked about it before, where we see and read a lot of people who like to tell you how to self-help. And we read all of these opinions, if you will, but these opinions are really and truly, if you look at them, are regurgitated.
Mm-hmm.
They've been regurgitated for centuries, and we read them, but we don't listen to them unless we have a reason to listen to them in our own brain.
Oh, I want
Whether
to
it's
say hi to a couple of people real quick.
the voice or what have you.
Dominic is here. Ria's here. Michael Ferris is here. Helene, of course, and Marcel. Hi, everybody. Those are the ones I can definitely see.
You're going to be in terrible straits if we have 100 people on here, because you can't say hi to everybody.
No, I won't do that.
The first 10 minutes is hi, 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 hi.
No, I'll say hi to the West Coast. Hello to the East Coast. Hello to Asia and Europe. Welcome to Denim and Pearls.
Okay, if you say so.
It's just another manic Monday.
So what is going on in your life right now? Because, for instance, I know Ferris, he's trying to put together this big event. I'm sure he's like all over the place right now.
Welcome to my world, Ferris, right? Or you're welcoming me to your world, because you do this every year.
Well, he does it every year, but he does it all the time too.
Yeah.
So some of this stuff.
So he might actually have an organized plan for it.
I was going to say, there's another idea too. So if we keep an organized plan, which is really hard for a lot of us to do, because you remember when you used to have paper calendars?
Yes. Well,
did you ever use them?
I never do.
You know why I never did? Because if I put something down on it, I'd forget to look at the calendar.
My husband is a master at paper calendars. He has his calendar, puts everything on it, and he'll walk around and he'll make sure. It's crazy how good he's with that calendar. But with this organized plan thing, here's my advice. I used to be the admin assistant to like 7 board members at a credit union. And what I would do is I had this book next to me, a little notebook. I still carry a notebook, but every time I did anything, I would write it down. And then if I did something for another board member, I'd write that down. And what I did is I wrote everything I did for them at that time. So when it came back around, I already had step by step when I did it in the order I did it. On accident. Oh. It was an accident that I made my own lesson plan for building whatever I was building. So when you've got something big like this, like I'm doing my book launch and this 100 author event on Thursday, the 28th, book launch on the 23rd, 100 author event. Okay. Anyway.
Let's just promote it some more. No.
Book launch 23rd, 3 E's at 1 to 4 p.m. There, Dan, you got it. And then the 100 author event is at 3 E's Comedy Club on the 28th from 9 to noon. Okay. So I plugged them both. But the reason I'm saying this is, if you're doing something that you normally don't do and you're putting it together and it seems kind of manic, keep writing down what you do, because then you already have a template. So when you repeat it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You already have it written down. The key here is don't lose the notes.
Or forget to look at them. No, when I get too many things going on, I will pull out a piece of paper, literally, because if I put it in my phone as notes, I have a tendency not to do it. But if I put it on a piece of paper and put it beside my computer or what have you, I will go through that checklist. And it seems like things go faster.
He laughs at me because I have so many.
I know.
This is my memory.
I think it's funny because I just can't do it to a certain degree. But when I get too many big of a list of things, I put them in and then I check them off as I go. And it goes like that. And I don't know why I don't implement that otherwise.
Oh my!
But it's just one of those things.
He says that the Santa event is behind schedule due to his recent pneumonia. Thanks for the mentions. Well, of course we're mentioning you, and I'm glad you're feeling better from your pneumonia. People, go to his site.
Well, yes. I wanted to go back to, and if everybody's wondering why I'm doing this, is because the microphone is right here in front of me.
Well, we can move it.
And I can't read. Oh, you know what? If I do this, I don't want to move I bet if I do this, I could probably see it better.
Yes.
So bring it back, because I don't want to lose the sound.
Yeah, we don't want to be echoey.
I was looking around the microphone to see the comments.
So
and one of the comments,
I
want to go back to this one. I try to consider the source when people give me advice or their opinion.
Yes.
I mean, that works in my mind, that works on a general consensus. That credibility of the person who's giving you that information really plays a part. But a lot of times I'll look at just the information and contemplate it and restructure it and see if it fits within what I'm doing. And it doesn't really matter the source. So, because everybody, I mean, if you look at everybody based on just their personality, on their information, in relative to their information, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad information.
No.
So it's just taking that cookie that they hand you and go, okay, does it have poison in it?
Well, it's also the attitude of the person who's coming to you.
Right.
I mean, I've had people say, "You are the worst speaker I've ever heard. You are the most unprofessional speaker." I mean, I've had someone just rip me up. "I would never hire you. I would never let you represent my company." And I'm like, all righty then. Years have gone by, and now this person has come back and said, I was wrong.
Right.
You're unique. You're not like everybody else. I said, thank you for crushing me for years. And then I've also had someone come up to me and say something like, oh, have you ever had a well-meaning friend tell you, oh, you can't? Yeah.
That's the crab in a bucket theory.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people do that to me. I mean, when I said I wanted to be an international speaker and I wanted to go out into the world and speak, they said, why you? What makes you think you could do it? And I said, well, why couldn't I?
Well, we can all do what we want. And we have to always mix in current events.
Yes.
Right. So there's a lot of people out there saying now that, and they're causing turmoil. You can't do this. You can't do it this way. You can't do it this way because you are something. Okay. Why? Why? Who are you to tell me that I can't do something? Do you pay for my bread and butter? Do you pay for my mortgage? Do you pay for whatever? Are you responsible for me? So do I really care whether some stranger out in social media land tells me that I can't do something, or they don't respect me? Well, I don't even know who the heck you are. So what does it matter? And I'm not talking about just us. This isn't part of us on the show. But it's happening across the thing. They got these people that are going out on social media and going, you can't do that because you're this. You can't do that because you're that.
Yeah, Michael, you and I are the same. If someone tells me I can't, almost assuredly I will do it.
Yes.
and the other thing I wanted to say about that is I think I just lost my idea. When someone says you can't do it, or they say you can't, blah, blah, blah. My thought is, they told the Wright brothers they couldn't fly. They told Einstein that, there is no theory of relativity. What are you talking about? You're stupid. You couldn't speak and you didn't pass math. You're an idiot. They told Einstein
couldn't tie his shoes.
And then what is that? Edison, you have done this stupid thing with the light that you keep trying to do 15 million times. You're a failure. Give up. The people who are crazy enough to believe they can are the ones who change the world.
It's a mediocre idea. It goes back to this.
Yeah, mediocre idea. Yeah. But so this guy's in the fashion industry, so maybe it's a little different with that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole thing. Use your own gut. We all have our own meter inside of us when we know something's right. The thing is you got to learn to believe in yourself. Trust yourself enough that when that gauge says, no, don't do that, listen to yourself. But if that gauge says, you can do this, listen.
Yeah, but I have to throw the counter to that. There's also times back in the day when they said, don't invest in Google. And I made a decision not to invest in Google at $116 a share when they first came on the market. Yeah. I listened to myself. That was wrong.
That's okay. I listened to myself with Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, who in the world would drink expensive coffee like that? It's like 5 cents.
Yeah. And I went the other day and it was like $9. I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course, you know what? This is another thing about current events too. I went to one of those, the Arches place, and I got something the other day and it was like a $9 meal for like 2 cheeseburgers and a soda. What is going on? I mean, honest to goodness, what is going on? I mean, I'm old and I remember the day when, a cheeseburger was 50 cents. Okay. And a soda was, 75 cents or whatever. So I can't use that relativity.
Squirrel.
Yeah. I can't use that relativity to today. No. I mean, I'm hearing gas is at like $7 and something out in California in some places. I mean, where are we at today that our perception has got to change? Do we have to change our perception, or do we demand what can be different? Yeah, see, I'm really off on this other subject.
Yeah. I'm like, where in the heck did he just go? The thing is when it's a manic Monday, the bottom line is with business, focus on what will either energize you to do the rest or focus on whatever you can do very well so you don't get stuck on the minuteness of one thing that never gets you. Like Brian in his car, I always call him, he's a give a mouse a cookie life. So
that was you yesterday.
Yes. So yeah, with me in my house, I'm just going to clean this window. Oh, wait, I put some spots on fire. I'm going to clean the floor. Oh, wait. And I just kept working my way through. So if you get into something and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this one project because if I can get this project done, then I can get to the other ones. But this is the big one. And then you get stuck on like a widget in the middle of that project, you never get to anything else. So weigh your decisions on what you need to get done. Which ones can you get done faster, more efficient, so you don't even have to think about the do, and then go tackle the bigger one that will take more time. Do what works for you. But the bottom line is, when you're having a manic Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's up to you to get yourself out of it. No one else can save you. So,
well, I'm also looking at, I'm following things here too, because Marcel says something about try paying $50 at Taco Bell for 4 people. That's just insane. Okay. So what I want to take onto this subject is what we talked about the other day when I was saying I need to do something different. I need to come up with a way to increase my income. You know, it's not that it's bad right now, but with the way things are going on our market these days and in our economy and stuff, I'm thinking, what can I do different? Can I capture one of my businesses and expand upon it?
I told him just give blood.
They won't take it. They don't like my blood.
Khalid says gas is only $3.05 in Texas.
Well, that's good, but in other parts of the country, it's not.
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to the economy, the way that it's going right now, how do we prepare ourselves for it?
You prepare mentally that you're not going to freak out when things are changing. Remember, there's that quote I love to say from Byron Katie. There's 3 types of business in this world. There's my business, the other person's business, and God and the universe's business. When you're panicking about gas prices,
it means I need to make more money.
You need to just shift your budget because it's out of your control at this point. I mean, you're going to have to wait for it's out of your control. So there's no sense in losing your mind about it if you can't go to the switch and say, I want the price lower. No. So now you have to change your mindset. Either you're going to start walking more like Elaine does, or you're not going to drive as much, or you're going to carpool with people. Or some of my friends have went out and bought electric cars so they don't have to use gas.
Which creates a whole nother problem, which we won't get into.
We won't get into that. But the whole thing is, your mindset will make or break you on a manic Monday. And so when you're watching the news and you're starting to panic about what's coming in the future, remember, your brain will make everything worse if you think about it, okay? Our brains are very good at making things bigger than they were actually going to be. And number 2, it's up to you. Let your manic Monday control you, or you control that manic Monday.
And I would agree. Mm-hmm. I definitely would agree. But we also have, I shouldn't say but. However, we have to look at a lot of things that are going on too within a situation, because what brought this subject up yesterday, I think it was yesterday or
I was like, do you really want to go for another hour on this?
No, I don't want to. But what I'm thinking too is the fact that the conversation came down to, do I buy a beer? Okay. A lot of people will go to the bar, they'll hang out, they'll have a good time, and they'll have 5 beers and they'll spend whatever X amount of dollars. Well, when the price of other eggs and bacon and everything else is going up, eventually that beer is going to fall to the side, or should fall to the side.
Like
you're going to make your adjustments.
Like we said, prioritize.
But see, I don't want to give up any of it. So that just means I want to make more money.
Just make more money. Or when you go out for your beer, you get a picture and you share it with your friends.
Yeah. Ideas on Michael said, Ferris says, great thoughts on creating additional streams of income. Yes, always have additional streams of income. I'm a big believer in that. I mean, I've got my finances, we've got the Denim and Pearls, we've got different things like this that are going on. Now I need to just figure out how to capitalize on everything. Or
tie them together.
Or tie them together, and we can do all of that.
And that's basically what I'm doing with my newest book, Hold My Crown. I've tied my speaking with my coaching, and I'm bringing all the women in that book with me.
I'm just going to throw up my hands and do what Helene says.
What?
She just goes and has a purple root beer.
I wish.
I'm just going to do that. Disposable income is the way to go. Is the way, yeah, the way
It's
to
good.
way to go. It's also the way to go.
Way to go.
Yeah, I think that's what he
Yes,
intended to say.
Crazy
But,
autocorrect.
yeah, well, when it disposable income, if somebody's sucking down your disposable income for stuff that is not voluntary type stuff, you've got to adjust that disposable income. You've got to make more of it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because eventually they're going to, with price of gas, especially if it goes around here, goes to $7 a gallon. Oh my goodness. How much of that is eating into my disposable income, which means I need more disposable income. I just need more income.
I'll just start doing more like I did during COVID time. More online stuff, less outside.
All right. Well, we're near the end. And
wait, he says,
I'm going to say that's what I'm going to do. And Ferris would like to know your dates on your book signing, and then we'll go out.
Okay, well, on October 23rd, this Saturday at 3E's Comedy Club on 1 South Nevada Avenue here in Colorado Springs, this book signing for Hold My Crown, Women of Grit, Share Stories of Resilience is at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we will probably be cutting that cake at 2:30 p.m. So please come out to 3E's Comedy Club and join us for our book signing 1 to 4 on this Saturday.
You can also get that over on Facebook on your Michelle Moras Inc., right?
On both pages.
Well, yeah. I mean, some people don't have personal connections with you, so
yeah. And actually, if you actually just go into the Facebook search and type in "Hold My Crown," it pops up. "Hold My Crown" book signing event. It's a public event.
Okay, I've got your crown now. What are you gonna do?
Bam!
All right, guys. We will see you next week. I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Hey.
nothing else. Join us for everything else during the week.
Peace.
Peace. I got M&Ms. It's not ending. It's not ending.
We're
Why is it
still
not
on.
ending? Look. Having trouble. Check your internet connection. Oh,
It
no.
won't turn us off.